Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Virtual Allotment, your Virtual Allotment. So this week I'll show you what I found. I found some rubber matting that's used in stables. It was amongst a lot of brambles. There was moss growing on it, so it had been there for a while. But I found 80 of the pads, which are 18 inches square, so perfect for the paths. So I'll show you those. I've also dug over one bed, and we're going to mark out the other bed and dig that over. Going to put some shelves up in the shed, and we're going to mark out the paths. Okay, I'll also show you around the allotment a little bit closer, a little bit more detail. We'll start off with that. So here's the entrance to the virtual allotment. Eventually this gate will go on and it'll have the virtual allotment sign on there. As we come in, first of all we've got the polytunnel, one of the polytunnels. A lot of this stuff I've moved from my previous plot. We've got an old Belfast sink which has got some water in at the moment, but if I can break that plug, then I can put some soil in there and grow some carrots. I've got my wood store. All this is free stuff underneath that blue plastic. There's a lot more wood. Little bits like these bits here are only thin, but they can be used in the shed. A little bit of chicken wire, you can see that under there. Chicken wire, it's always useful. Bench that I made previously out of a single bed. Remains of the two sheds. The metal shed which you've seen before. Now that metal shed will eventually go down there where the green cage is, or possibly in that corner. There's not a lot of light in that corner because of the trees, so don't want to be growing anything down there. There are some plants that like shade, and they're going to go over here because of the shade of these trees. And then we've got 3 water supplies on here, very lucky. So there's one. There is one there, and there is one right at the bottom. The one at the bottom we're going to run a pipe from and then feed it into the shed, and we'll wrap it with some lagging, but as long as I turn it off there and make sure there's no water in the pipe, it shouldn't freeze. It doesn't tend to get that cold on the Isle of Wight actually. So these are the mats that I got this week. So as you can see, they're a bit grubby, some of them are a bit damaged, and I think they've just been fly tipped. So they're coming really useful. You've seen the other things that I've got for free. That's all there. So what I'm going to do is, what I've done over here is this is the bed that this week I'll put a video on this video of me doing that. So what I did was I used my Mantis tiller and used it in cultivating mode, which takes off the top 2 or 3 inches of soil, and I'd cut the grass really short like this and then cultivated it, raked off the grass that was on the top, and then turned the tines round to rotivating mode. Train just going past. To rotivating mode, and then that digs down up to 10 inches. Now I will fork it over as well, because I do like to get a bit of air in there, and the rotivator does it good and it breaks it up, tills the ground really well. So going back to the path, you can see that I've put them together. They are interlocking, There's a little bit of a gap there, and that's because of the height difference. So what I'm intending doing is from where my foot is, which is about, these are 18 inches, so 6 inches this way and 6 inches that way. I'll put down a membrane and then put the mats down, and then the bit at the side where the membrane is, I'll put the wood chip, which is taking us back to where we were over here. So this is the wood chip. Now it's quite a bit of it, as you can see. I've got 3 80-litre bins and 11 sacks, so quite a bit. The flags or paving stones will probably go either up there or down near the shed. There's not a lot going to be growing down at that bottom end where the shed is. So other finds that I've got are, I found this netting. This was already here, but it was just screwed up in the corner, which will be perfect for the beans. I've got these things, which, just take that plot off top. You can see they used to be street lights covers, but they've replaced all the street lights, so they're not being used anymore. So I got those off someone from the council, and they make perfect cloches or protectors for the sweet corn, etc. I've also got some tubing, you can see, which I can put across the beds so that we can do netting or piece of plastic over, make a cold frame. Very useful. We'll see those at later videos. And we just have a look at the trees that we've got. These are the plum trees. Now they're going to be cut back. They're supposed to be cut back in May, but there's a bit of disease on it, so I'm going to cut them back earlier than that. The problem with cutting them back now is that you could get disease in them as well, but there's already disease, so it's nothing lost. I'll cut right back though. Then we've got, you can see there's berries up there as well. There's another tree here, which, just trying to figure out, I think, looking at the leaf, it's some sort of apple, I think, or pear, not sure. Could be from one of the pears. We've then got this one, which is looking a bit bedraggled and falling over. You can see the previous person has put a stake in there, but it's not held it up. It is falling down quite a lot. And that's a Williams pear. Apparently I spoke to the person who had this allotment previously, and they said they only get 1 or 2 pears on that. So I'll have to see if we can improve that. That's probably because this tree, this enormous thing, is blocking all the light to it, and that big tree over there. So this big tree I thought was a Perry pear, and I've been advised by other people that it's a Perry pear. Trying to find a pear. Oh, there they are. And apparently, let's see if I can reach one. Here we go. Apparently it's a quince. It's not a pear. So, which explains why it's sweet to start with, and then acrid flavour, really sour flavour aftertaste. So those are quince. So they're all wasted this year. I'm waiting for all them to fall, and then I'll cut that back. And then this lot here is all being cut back. You can see there's knotweed in there as well. Ivy. There is a metal fence in amongst all that ivy, so what I will do is trim it all back to that metal fence. And then we're down at the bottom, rows close-up, I think. And here's the other tap. Now originally there was a big hole there, but the soil that I've raked off that bed and the other beds and the ash has all gone in there to fill that up. I need to bring it up a bit more, as you can see the level, so I'll need to bring that up. And then the shed will be going somewhere in that area. This laurel has been cut back a little bit, trying to keep this under control, so I think that big bit there will come off next. A couple of branches there, and we'll try and bring it down a bit, then it can be manageable. And then looking at the beds from the other angle, so that's the one we've already done. There will be another one here, but I need to break that piece of concrete up at the top first. And you can see where the path's starting, and then there'll be another one. And the problem with the path, as you can see, if I get low down you'll be able to see, there's a big drop. Now they've dug out, the previous people have dug out here, so right down. So what I'm going to have to do is to dig out from where those canes are, across once I've moved that concrete, dig it out and then bring it down here and try and level it off a little bit. You can see it's been in stages, it does run downhill the allotment, and you can see from this bed which was here previously, and I've broken the wood off, it's stepped. So quite a bit of digging to do there. The rotavator, the Mantis tiller, will help break that up, and then I'll be able to shovel it. So it's not too bad, it's not too bad. And then obviously you've seen the shed before. A bit of a compost going now at the back, because there's not a lot that will grow down there. And then the other polytunnel. Now I've got one with green plastic on and one without, and the stuff that's inside the polytunnel, we're just going to have a quick look. I think also I'll put some rubber matting down that side, because I've got 80 of them, so there should be enough. If we just have a look inside the polytunnel, at the moment it's just being used for storage, and all the stuff underneath that white sheet, there's the cover for the other one, and all the stuff underneath that white sheet is plant pots and things that will go in the storage part in the shed when we've done it today. So then I'll be able to take the green plastic off for winter. And then we're back at the front. So it's an overall view. Oh, there's a conference pair, I forgot. I've trimmed some of that back. So that should be okay for next year now. Should be able to reach those. So that's a conference pair. And I've dug 2 holes already, several more I need to do, which are for my fruit trees which are on my other plot. But I've got the plot off for all year, so I'll dig the holes in readiness so that I can put some manure in there, bit of water, get them ready for when the trees are moved. And that's it. So we'll get some work done and add the video on of me rotavating and little snippets of me doing the other work. Okay, see you soon. So this is the ground on the right, it's marked out, and I'm going to cultivate it with my Mantis tiller, and then I'm going to rotivate it. So this is it cultivated. You can see the little bits of grass on the surface. A bit closer. Rake all that off, and then you can turn the tines round and till it. This is it from the other side. And this is a finished bed. You can see on the right I've missed a little bit once I've put the pallet wood down to make the paths. So let's take a look inside the shed where we've done a little bit more. So here inside the shed you can see I've built a section at the bottom where I've put shelving up, 4 shelves. It's quite handy for storage. Little hooks on the wall, or nails on the walls. And then the bottom corner there and all the way along this side is going to be kitchen units. You can see the kitchen in the bottom. So I'm reckoning about 4,000 base kitchen units. And this is my seed board. I started it, but I've run out of drawing pins. A close up of the shelves, in case you didn't see that on the video then. And then I've boxed it off so that there's a separate room there for storage. I'll be able to put shelves on the back of there. I'd also put some more kitchen units on the front of it. I've left a bit of gap at the top for lighting and the gap on the right for the door. But you can see even with that little room at the end, there's still quite a bit of space inside the shed. And that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and come back next week.